Hi, my name is Guy Fredrickson. Today is Sunday, December 18th, 2022, and this is another update on the 61 Chris Craft. So I finished applying the primer to the bottom. I gave it 5 coats. This is the product that I used, and I went through about 2 gallons, maybe wasted 10% of that. Even on the instructions here, it says for an 18-foot boat, you can expect to go through 2 gallons, which is what I experienced. So I used white and gray, alternated the layers. I started with white and gray, white, gray, and then the last coat, I mixed what was left in the 2 cans to give it the 5th and final coat. You can see some scratches here. I went over it by hand with some 40 grit sandpaper, just lightly, to knock off some of the high spots. So now it should be ready for the copper bottom paint. And I'll give it at least 2 coats of that, and it hasn't come in yet. I have it on order. Should be here this coming week. I also wanted to show you some of the hardware. So of course, here's the rudder, and this is the rudder log with the seal. So the seal is made with this wax rope material that you cut, wind around the shaft, and put underneath this nut. So you squeeze this nut down, you tighten that seal, and it prevents water from leaking along the shaft into the boat. So on the rudder, you can tighten it enough to prevent water ingress, because this doesn't see a lot of movement, just back and forth. The same is not true for the propeller shaft, and I'll show you that in a minute. But this fitting sits back here. Of course, this piece goes into the boat, it's upside down. And this is the backer plate that remains on the outside of the boat. And these square notches accommodate the carriage bolts to keep them from spinning. So this is the shaft log. Goes inside the boat on the keel. So the propeller shaft goes through here at the same angle, 18 degrees, as the strut. So this is the traditional seal, identical to the rudder shaft seal. Takes that same wax rope in here to make the seal. But in this case, because the propeller shaft is spinning at high RPM, you don't crank this down as tight. You loosen this a little bit so some water is dripping into the boat. So this is a wet seal. And I want to avoid using this if I can. So I purchased this dripless seal from a company called PYI. But the problem here is you have to supply water from the raw water pump that lubricates and cools the seal, but it exits outside the hull. And it's longer, so I may not have enough room to install this. So I may have to revert back to here, not sure yet. Of course, here's the propeller shaft strut, and I made a backing plate that'll go inside the boat. So this isn't original. Here's the propeller, the original propeller. It's in a really nice shape. I think it's about 12 inches in diameter. The number is 666 if you look up Chris Craft propellers. Here's a drain plug, a through hull fitting, goes up towards the bow. And here's the raw water intake strainer. So on the original configuration, the boat did not have a valve, did not have a downstream strainer. It just went right from here into the raw water pump. And by today's standards, that's not too smart. So I'm going to install a valve and a strainer, but I'm not sure where I'm going to locate this yet. I'm going to wait until the engine is in the boat before I figure out where this needs to go. Probably not the original location. And the last thing is this fin. I guess you could call it a stabilization fin. So this goes right on the keel, about in the middle of the boat. And that's the orientation it was when I took it off. I would have thought it would have been the other way, but maybe this is correct. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.